from Southwest Florida's news source. This is Fox 4 News at 6.
Tonight, students under siege as gunfire rings out on the campus of FSU.
This is the Tallahassee Police Department. You're the FSU Police Department. There has been a shooting in the library. Stay where you are.
Thousands scramble for cover, some hiding behind desks, fearing what might happen next.
You're just not really prepared for a situation like this, no matter how many times you could go through it in your head.
Now we're learning the gunman is a graduate of FSU. State leaders vowing this will not define one of Florida's best known and loved schools.
I have every confidence that FSU will become an even stronger campus as they come together and heal from this tragedy.
A tragedy that ended with the gunman shot to death as he exchanged gunfire with officers. I'm Patrick Nolan.
And I'm Amy Wegman. Tonight we are getting our first look at the suspect in this tragic case, 31-year-old Myron May. We've been going through his Facebook page to find out more for you tonight. Here's a live look at his last post just hours before the shooting. He actually quoted the Bible. "Blessed are the poor in spirit," he wrote, "for theirs in the kingdom of heaven."
Myron shot 3 FSU students. One of them is in critical condition tonight. This happened at the main library on campus, the Strozer Library, just after midnight. 4 in your corner, Sarah Belso, live in Tallahassee with the latest on this crime that's being felt from one end of Florida to another. Sarah?
Patrick, Amy, police are saying that Myron May started here right outside of Strozer Library where he shot 1 male student. Then he went inside these front doors here inside the lobby, staying in the lobby area where he shot 1 male student and 1 male employee. He then reloaded his gun and came out right in the corner where you see these boards here on the far side of the library. That's when he was confronted by police and eventually fatally shot. Now, police say this all took a matter of about 2 minutes, but for the students trapped inside waiting, it felt like eternity.
Like people say, I was scared to death. I never knew what that feeling was till last night.
A quiet night of studying turning into sheer terror for FSU freshman Daniel Morales. He had been inside the Strozer Library for a few hours when he heard muffled sounds and alarms go off.
This man came running like 30 seconds later. He's like, "There's someone has a gun, like run."
Daniel says he dropped everything and ran into a back room on the 2nd floor with about 100 other students.
They're screaming and crying. You can just see the terror in their faces.
Once inside, Daniel and about a dozen others piled furniture in front of the door, not knowing exactly what was going on, but hoping it would help keep them safe.
Our fears were confirmed when, on the loudspeaker, a police officer said that there was a gunman on the loose in the library. And at that point, just my mouth went dry.
While Daniel and others prayed and called loved ones, police say FSU grad and Texas lawyer Myron Mays was in the downstairs lobby with an automatic handgun, where he shot 3 males, sending 2 to the hospital. Police say his journals and videos show he was a, quote, man in crisis, writing he wanted to bring attention to the issues of targeting. But there are still a lot of unanswered questions.
We have not found any information at this time to indicate why he chose this morning to act, or why he chose the Strozer Library as the place for his actions.
Megan Malley and her friends say they were planning on going to the library to study last night, but call it fate. They changed their minds.
For some reason, our other roommate and us, we decided, let's not stay. It's cold, let's stay in. And we stayed in, and honestly, it was crazy because I have children now talking about it.
Still in shock, like many of the students who came out to sit on the front lawn outside the library today, and especially for those who were inside.
Never did I think, ever in my whole life, that this would happen, my freshman year, here at FSU.
One Tallahassee Police Department officer and 5 FSU campus police officers are on leave. They were involved in the shooting, so they will be not back to work until after that investigation wraps up. Out here tonight, students just coming back from a prayer vigil that was held in the center of campus by the student union, and campus officials tell us tomorrow the Strozer Library will be open, as well as classes being resumed, and the whole university will be moving forward. Now, coming up at 6:30, I'll tell you more about a local Southwest Florida student who was here just feet from where it happened in his dorm, and we'll bring you more of his story coming up. We're live in Tallahassee. Sarah Belsol, Fox 4, in your corner.
All right, thank you, Sarah. Meanwhile, tonight we are learning even more about the man allegedly responsible for this tragedy. Tallahassee police say that they've obtained a journal as well as videos belonging to Myron May. They say they indicate that he believed the government was targeting him. Officers say May that was armed with a semi-automatic handgun. He reloaded at least once. He reportedly tried to get past security barriers before he fatally was shot by officers. Now, May and officers exchanged more than 30 shots. He graduated from Florida State and then went to law school at Texas Tech. He'd been working as a lawyer in Texas and New Mexico. Now, those who knew him say he had recently returned to Florida because of financial troubles, but officers say that they still don't have a motive for this shooting.
Our team coverage continuing now closer to home. 4 in Your Corner's Carl Fortier talking to officers at Florida Gulf Coast University to find out what kind of plans they have in place if, God forbid, something like this were to ever happen at our hometown university.
Well, Chief Moore says, unfortunately, active shooter situations can happen anywhere. But in the event such a thing ever did happen here, he says his officers are ready.
Our officers train. We invite Lee County Sheriff's Department to come train with us to do active shooter training.
Stephen Moore is chief of the University Police at FGCU. He says his department has established protocols for active shooter situations, but he thinks it's also important for students to know what to do in such an emergency.
If the shooter's in a building, you should try to get out. If you can't get out, hide out, which is, again, what a lot of them did at FSU, barricading themselves in a room.
And then there's this option.
If the shooter comes into your room, you have to decide it's him or you, and it's takeout. So, throw your laptop at him, throw a stapler at him, and attack.
FGCU sophomore Mary Slobodnik has a couple of friends at FSU that were in the area of the shooting.
One of my other friends, actually, who is my grade 2, was leaving the library as it was starting to happen, so I'm glad that they're both okay.
Chief Moore says it's rare that these events happen, and as much as we might not want to think about it, if it does occur, we should all know what we would do if a gunman opens fire.
Wherever you're at, whether you're at a college campus or you're at a bank or a mall or a movie theater or whatever.
Now, Chief Moore says they continually review active shooter situation guidelines, and at a meeting with other state university police chiefs in January, the FSU incident will likely be a main topic. At FGCU, Carl Fortier, Fox 4 in your corner.
This is only the beginning of our complete team coverage. Coming up at 6:30, we're hearing from an FSU freshman with ties to Southwest Florida. He is sharing his thoughts and feelings on this tragic shooting, this terrifying shooting. Meanwhile, this is very much on the minds of students at Florida Gulf Coast University. You just heard from security at the school. We're going to get the students' reaction coming up, and we're digging deeper into crime rates on FSU's campus. You can count on 4 in Your Corner to stay on top of this developing story out of Tallahassee and bring you the very latest online on fox4now.com.
I'm in the Storm Patrol Center now with Jim. Another gorgeous day across Southwest Florida, but man, it was definitely warmer. That cold front was gone in a snap.
Takes about a day and a half, then we start to see those warming trends in Southwest Florida. There's a great sunset for you. Mid to high level clouds starting to move in this afternoon. And those clouds are going to be on the increase for us overnight tonight. But that's a live look at Charlotte Harbor. That's our Zoom 10 Sky Cam. That's at the Port Charlotte Event and Conference Center right there, actually in Punta Gorda, looking toward Charlotte Harbor. Using the power of 4 Doppler radars to show you that Southwest Florida is dry, but look what's going on to the south of us. Those are showers that we're going to be monitoring. They're associated with a stationary front that may be a bit of a player for us Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Great night, though. 67 in the Cape, 62 in Arcadia, 70 our current temperature in Immokalee. Making plans tonight's going to be El Perfecto. Just a great night. Clouds, though, are going to be on the increase. We're talking about the possibility of maybe some weekend rain and a stronger cold front on the horizon. All of that coming up.
For the first time tonight, we are getting a look at the man police believe shot and killed the manager of a TJ Maxx in Cape Coral. You are looking at a newly released sketch of the shooting suspect by Cape Coral police, and he's still on the loose tonight. Police say Alfred Griffiths was shot and killed outside of the TJ Maxx on Del Prado Boulevard South early Tuesday night. But that's pretty much all we know about what went down there. 4 in Your Corner's Tara Molina pushing Cape Coral police for answers tonight. Tara?
Amy, a tragedy that's shaken the Cape, and there are still so many unanswered questions, like, did Griffith know his killer? Was there a motive? And is it safe to shop there? Tonight, I'm working to get those answers. A once familiar place for the manager of this TJ Maxx. Now, the scene of his murder.
There were unbelievable amount of police cars.
Police cars and crime tape tell the story. A tragic ending for Alfred Griffith, who worked here for 14 years. We don't know much about the man who ran this store or who killed him. The shooter is still on the loose. With so many unanswered questions, I went to Cape Coral Police for answers.
Could this have been personal? Do you have any lead that the shooter and Griffiths knew each other?
Anything that I would say right now regarding the motive would be pure speculation.
We had someone call us and say this could have been a shoplifter who he told to leave the store.
We've seen a lot of internet rumors and speculation that's being thrown out there. We are not going to engage in any of that publicly.
No clear motive yet, and police say it's not likely this was random.
When you're investigating major crimes, it is statistically probable that a victim of a violent crime knows or has a relationship with their assailant.
This is the 4th homicide in Cape Coral this year, but Sergeant Costin says there's no need for you to worry.
Cape Coral is statistically one of the safest cities in the state of Florida, and we still are.
Should people who shop at that store or go to that gym be concerned at all?
I don't think that this is an incident that is reflective of a downturn in the neighborhood or a downturn in the area. We always encourage people, though, to be vigilant when they're out and about in public.
Now here's another look at the new sketch of the shooting suspect released by Cape Police. If you recognize this person or were shopping at TJ Maxx early Tuesday night, call Cape Police at 574-0639, or you can always call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-780-TIPS. Live in the studio, Tara Molina, Fox 4 in your corner.
Agony in Cape Coral. Family members reeling after hearing the news. Our reporter offering some comfort there. Their grandson found dead in the front yard of a Cape Coral home. The body of 20-year-old Richard Glay, better known as Richie, discovered around 5 o'clock this morning right in the yard of a home in the 500 block of Trafalgar Parkway. Cape Coral police showing up right away. They're now investigating. 4 in your corner's Lisa Greenberg talking with Richie's grandparents to find out more. Lisa?
Patrick, Ron and Isabella Caldwell tell me they called him Richie, and Isabella says she was especially close with him. They say he always tried to make people laugh and was always surrounded by friends, so they can't understand why Richie was walking alone along this busy street.
My grandson, it's like a nightmare. Oh.
Isabella Caldwell and her husband Ron, devastated. Arriving at the home where the body of their grandson, 20-year-old Richie Glay, was found in the yard, just around the corner from where he lived with his family.
He died here? Yes.
You want me to come with you to take a look? All right, let's go take a look. The Caldwells tell me the family inside this home on Trafalgar Parkway called Cape Coral Police at around 5 in the morning. Police still investigating what happened, and while foul play hasn't been completely ruled out, they don't see anything suspicious.
It is starting to look like to us that it may be a medical call or perhaps drug overdose.
But all Isabella and Ron know is that their beloved grandson is gone. Police think it happened as he walked home alone. His grandma says that's unusual.
But he always asked for a ride. Even if he was at a friend's and they couldn't do it, he'd call his mom.
They're remembering Richie as someone who loved to make others laugh, writing his own music and dreaming of becoming a famous rapper.
I kept saying, let's make a video and post it on YouTube. And, well, I'm not quite ready yet. And,
oh, I got time, Nan. I got time.
Yeah. I was saying, I got time.
Isabella tells me friends had contact with Richie at around 3 o'clock this morning, and what happened after remains a mystery. This is an ongoing investigation, and we won't really know what happened to Richie until Cape PD gets the autopsy results. They say you should not be worried about your safety. Live in the studio, Lisa Greenberg, Fox 4 in your corner.
All right, thank you very much, Lisa. Our coverage of the FSU campus shooting continues in just a bit.
Students with Southwest Florida ties are now talking about this shocking case. We're sharing their perspective. Plus, a Southwest Florida mosque becomes a target for a crime, the unholy act committed at this place of worship.
Oh, thank heaven no one was hurt at this 7-Eleven. Who was behind the wheel when the car crashed right into this Cape Coral store?
The show must go on, but will it? Fox 4 looking into whether these students are going to show up for a concert in Naples tonight after a debate over whether they should perform in churches.